What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Currently I am on my lunch break, so I'm just going to try to make a quick little video on first day of free agency with the Steelers. Possible pickups. The Steelers themselves have 20 free agents this season, so there's going to be a lot of changes this year with this team. So there's just a couple things I want to go over. First, also, if you could like, comment, subscribe to my channel, it would be greatly appreciated. I love doing these videos, so huge Steelers fan, always have been. Look at this old shirt. I mean, it's like older than me probably, but just going to get right into it. Obviously there's going to be a couple players that we are going to lose this year. Not a couple, I should say a lot, because we are going to lose a lot of players this year, and it's going to be hard and difficult with the new cap room and all the other stuff going on in the NFL on getting, players in and getting players to stay. I mean, it's people are going to be hungry. They're going to want their money, and they're going to want to end up leaving us, which is going to suck, but it is what it is. It's all part of the game. First is obviously our biggest free agent. I think this year has got to be Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree clearly is not going to be staying with us this year. He's probably going to get paid, somewhere probably at $13 million a year somewhere else. To be honest, I couldn't give you a team right now that would want a defensive end that is going to be paying for that. In reality, a team like Buffalo, I will give you a team in Buffalo. I think anybody just to really complete that defense would be a great spot for him. I don't know if they have the money to pay him that much, but, I think that would be a good spot for him. Going right down the list, obviously James Conner. James Conner's another guy that, we obviously love here in the city of Pittsburgh, but he's just a guy that, riddled with injuries every single year. And when he is healthy, he's a tank. I mean, he can move the ball downfield, but it's just, I think the main difference between him staying and going is the injuries. Obviously, he's not going to go out and get paid much, so if we could get him on a cheaper deal, I would love to bring him back, but that's somebody that is definitely, I don't see staying in Pittsburgh. Obviously, Juju now, he's going to want some money, and that's going to be a big issue. I think, what the Steelers see him as what he's worth, he's obviously, I think, going to think that he's worth a lot more than that, as most players do. But I just don't see a mutual agreement this year coming with him. And, a lot of it probably has to do with the antics that, from last season with all the dancing and bullshit going on. But, it is what it is. And it's sad to see him go. He's still young. He's 25 years old. He's got a long career left ahead of him. But, we'll see where he lands. Obviously, I'd like to see him back in Pittsburgh so we don't have to go draft another wide receiver this year, because I want to focus on the offensive line, possibly getting that secondary tight end since Vance McDonald retired this year. So, and Eric Ebron's more of that go out and catch when he can catch the ball, because obviously we saw all of his butterfingers this year, but we need to go get that blocking tight end this year. I am looking forward to making a draft video probably in the next week or two. But I'm focusing just right now on our free agents, and maybe just a couple guys that, have shown interest with us and talked about possibly coming to Pittsburgh. So just going down the list, Avery Williamson, he's a guy that we brought in just because Devin Bush was hurt this year. So I don't really see a use for him. We did sign Spillane already, so, I think he's just going to test free agency and go elsewhere. A guy that I really like that I hope that we do bring back is Dangerfield. He's a guy that I love, great special teams player. He, he's the type of person that I would love to see bring back, and, he competes. He's a good guy. He's 31, he's still young, but, very good on that special teams. So, yeah, I would like to bring him back. Sorry, I got people messaging me from work. Cameron Sutton, when he had to replace Joe a little bit there, he played great. And those few games that we actually got to see him play, he looked outstanding. I think, obviously he's not going to want a big contract. Yeah, he had a couple good games. But, I'm hoping that he's willing to stay with us and work out a contract to stay with this team. But just moving forward, Matt Filer, I'd like to keep him too. Again, offensive line is going to look real weird this year. I mean, obviously with Pouncey leaving, Filer's a free agent, Zach Banner's a free agent. Villanueva's a free agent, so a lot of our offensive line is going to be changed up a lot this year. Obviously, our David DeCastro, our best guard, probably offensive lineman that we've had the past couple of years, he's still going to be there. So, we got to build around him. It's last year for Ben. Obviously we already signed B.J. Finney. I'll talk about that, and Hashahauer, or however the hell you say his name. But that's two offensive linemen. They both know the system. They've played with us already, so good quality pickups. I'd like to keep Zach Banner. He's just big guy, big tackle, and he really proved himself last year, except for tearing his ACL, which really sucks. But it is what it is. Let me look at my list. Alu, I don't see him coming back. I think our defensive line's great. I think Bugs could fill in great for him there. Cassius Marsh, another guy that, he could play special teams, but we were riddled with injuries. More the reason why we signed him last year halfway through the season was just mostly because of that. Chris Wormley, I don't see him coming back either. Again, he was another guy that filled in, didn't play much, so he was kind of like irrelevant to the team. Obviously, when you got Cam Hayward there, and two, it's very hard to take those guys' spots. And then again, when Bugs came in, Bugs filled in great, so I'll take that all day. Alu is great with the run stop, which is, it will hurt, but I just don't see him signing with the team this year. Villanueva, I have him written down kind of as like a prove-it deal. Obviously, I like him a lot, but last year his value went down big time. I mean, he was just not the same offensive tackle that we're used to seeing from him. His play just wasn't the same. Obviously, I like the guy, I love him a lot, but I would like to bring him back on a smaller contract, maybe 3 years, if that. But definitely low because of our cap and everything like that. So it's going to be tough. Sean Davis, he could go elsewhere unless we keep him for special teams, but I just can't see him in coverage. Let's see. Gerald Hawkins, he's probably going to be gone. Josh Dobbs, as much as I love the kid, smart man, but he should take his talents to being the rocket man that he wants to be. But I love the guy. He could be a great quarterback. And when we saw when, the last game of the year against the Browns, when we saw that kind of like, oh, let's play Rudolph, let's have Josh Dobbs out on the side, get the read option going. It looked good, and I liked it a lot. But the Steelers don't see him long term. I think he walks this year. Let's see, Danny Isidore. I don't even know who the hell he is, but I don't see him staying either. So, who else? Jordan Berry, a guy we brought in Colquitt last year, just to kind of, we needed a punter, and he was a proven punter for 15 plus years, however long he's been in the NFL, but, we saw that he had no leg, no leg at all the first 2 weeks of the year. Cut him, brought back Jordan Berry, and Jordan Berry is very good. I think he was real concerned that, I might not be able to play another NFL game. I was cut. I already wasn't on the higher end of things, so, I would like to bring him back. I mean, I think he kind of proved it. As long as he could play the way that he played last year, I say bring him back. But, that's pretty much it. I think I've named all of our, and Adesiu or whatever, 92. I just know him as 92 because I can never say his name. But he's another guy. Yeah, he played good on the edge. Obviously with him and Alex Highsmith having to fill in back and forth once Bud Dupree went out. He was pretty good last year too. Again, if we could bring him back on a cheap deal, then I'll take it all day. Big Mike Hilton, that is. I would love to see him. I think he's one of the best nickel corners or linebackers, whatever you want to consider him to be. But he looks great in a nickel defense. And I just, if the man needs to get paid, we're not going to pay him, unfortunately. So I think it's probably his time to go too. As much as I love him, I just think he could excel somewhere else. Obviously, he's huge for our defense, but he could definitely excel elsewhere and get that contract that he needs. And I just, we're holding him back in a sense from being this, not so much a great player, but holding him back from making that money. And that's the big thing there. If you stayed this long in the video, I just want to go over a couple guys that have said they've had interest in Pittsburgh that I wouldn't mind signing. One of them being, I'll just start it off now, Adrian Peterson. You know, again, let's play a little game here. If you made it this far into the video, I want you to write in the comments AP, okay? Just to see if you stayed with me here. But Adrian Peterson, he said he showed interest on possibly signing with us. Obviously, if the money's right, you know, it's just to have an older running back kind of scares me. We're looking for youth. We need a draft. Obviously, Najee Harris is one of those guys from Bama that I love. He's a big dude, you know, and Bama's had their great running backs. You know, we look at Derrick Henry. Hopefully, maybe if we sign him or draft him, you know, he could become a Derrick Henry type player because he's got the build. He's a big kid. So, obviously, he's one of my favorites in the draft this year. So, yeah, so Adrian Peterson's hinted towards the Pittsburgh Steelers, as well as John Brown. I mean, to have a speedy slot receiver, I think would be great for this offense too. You know, and between him and the Colts, or us and the Colts, I should say, are two spots that he would like to go to. So, you know, I would take him all day. Obviously, it's going to have to be a smaller contract, one or 2 years. I mean, is the most we're going to have to pay for him or give to him. But, you know, it's very tough this year with just the way the cap is going, and we don't know what the next year's cap's going to be, and all this stuff going on. Let's bring in some offensive weapons for Ben. I mean, obviously this is his last year, so you know we gotta help him out. And just to close it out, you know, the one guy I respected a little bit more for leaving compared to the other was Le'Veon Bell. And his value, I know people, if you're here this deep into the video, people are going to be like, damn, why are you saying his name? We don't want his ass back here. Here's the thing. We could get a quality runner for a cheap price. And yes, obviously Le'Veon Bell's always been about the money. That's all he ever wanted, right? He hurt himself. He hurt himself a lot this year. Getting cut by the Jets was big, as well as, you know, taking his small salary with the Chiefs, which, you know, obviously helped the Chiefs a little bit, but they had Clyde Edwards-Helaire as well as Williams, and he saw no game time. I think maybe he was on the field or had plays in the Super Bowl, two or three plays the whole Super Bowl. So, again, his value has gone down substantially, and you know, I would take him. I would take him back. I mean, listen, him and Ben know how to work with each other, and he knows, obviously the offensive line is different, but, you know, he knows the way that we like to play. I don't want to hear no Brown names. I could give two shits about that man, but, you know, I would take Bell back. These are just the free agents that, you know, again, just being real quick about it. I can't keep going too long with this, but, obviously, you know, we're going to be a whole different team this year. But one thing's for sure, let's get the weapons for Ben. Let's work on all the offensive line. Let's get a running back. You know, obviously either draft or get one in free agency. But those are just a few names. I ran down all the Steelers free agents this year, all 20 of them, which is crazy. But it is what it is. We're going to have a different team this year, but you know, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. It all means a lot to me. But here we go, Steelers. Let's go.